I turned this sketch into this. Let's go. So for this next drawing, I'm actually going to be doing one of my characters, so I'm very excited about that. Her name is Myra. She's a little bat. She is red, pink, and a dark purple. So her colors work. They're kind of fun colors. They're nice and bright. She's kind of in my idea of like for summer, essentially, because my main characters, I technically have 12, I suppose, in a way. They're all like the same colors, so it's 4 groups of 3, and they all represent like spring, summer, fall, and winter. So I thought it'd be fun to go ahead, because we already did Kana, which if you didn't see was this one. So that's what I mean by fall. So now we're gonna go ahead and just do summer, because I don't know, I kind of want to do her. I've never like actually like really drawn her before entirely, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to make a little sketch out of her. So I somewhat have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm not 100% sure. So I think it would be better to have her flying. So I kind of had the idea of her almost kind of doing like a move in the air, I suppose. Now she is actually one of my like easier characters to do. Just because she is a bat, she's relatively simple versus compared to like others that I have. So, because I also have a cat character named Celestin who we'll do later on, but he's also just a very simple character. So I almost kind of had this idea where she was kind of like up front in the camera, but kind of like pushing away from us, is what the intention was. So that's kind of what this is, pretty much. So I think I actually might just stick with that, because I kind of do like that. I think it's kind of fun. Alright, so I think we'll just stick with this, because I'm like, this already works out just fine with how that is. So now, if you hear any noise, it's starting to thunder outside, so that's what that is, if you hear anything. So now for the home, because I'd like to like sleep, in caves and there's trees. So I'm thinking, you know what I could, I wonder if I could do kind of like a midnight pond or something. So like have the moon up here type of situation. Maybe some clouds over it, so kind of a cloudy night. Then we could do the cave. So I almost think it might be kind of interesting to kind of have the stalagmites and stalactites, I don't know which is which, I just know that's what they're called, kind of showing at the mouth of the cave a little bit. I think would be kind of fun. Maybe just kind of have the water glowing a little bit, because if it's like reflecting off the moon, then I'll put glowing from, we'll just do glowing from water, pretty much, I think would work. And then maybe a couple trees kind of hanging out. Almost kind of creepy, but not really, I suppose. And then maybe you could do a lily pad with like a little frog kind of just chilling type of thing, and some cattails. I think that could actually work out really well. So for the actual drawing, let's see. What do I want to do? I'm like, how close do I want her? I don't think I want her necessarily like that close. I feel like close enough we can see her, but where she's not like covering like absolutely everything. I feel like that would be good, because then you still get a good bit of the background. Alright, I think that works. So we'll probably just do something like that, because it actually works out just fine, honestly. For me it does anyway. So color-wise, we are gonna have, I'm just gonna grab some random pencils I have on the side. These aren't what I actually use. I actually love Prismacolor pencils. Those are my favorites. I just have a bunch of random types just for other stuff that I've wanted to try, but none of them really do what I need to. So we're gonna have this gray. I'm gonna try and stick with like just darker colors, because it is nighttime. Well, nighttime pretty much, minus the moon. But that's just what I want to stick with for the time being. So I got blue. I did grab a dark green. Okay, let's play around with this for the moment. So she's mostly red. She is gonna have a pink underbelly. Because she doesn't, I don't necessarily have her follow like actual bat patterns. I kind of just did my own thing with her. That's kind of how I did with all my characters. That's why Kana has stripes on her, because it's almost supposed to be like a brindle. So she's literally just kind of patterned herself in a way. So pretty much this. So that means that she's going to be backlit. So that's going to be kind of interesting for me to try and do. And fun fact, on her back, she actually has a spot on her back that's purple. But we're not going to see that here. Okay, so we have this. So clouds will be kind of dark. Obviously back here will be dark, but for the time being, I'm just going to lighten it up a little bit just so I can kind of see what I'm doing. So then we have cave. I think maybe I should grab a slightly lighter blue just to kind of help with the glowing effect, I think. And in here too. I don't think I want it like super glowing, but I want it enough that you can definitely kind of tell that there is. And just gonna add in some of the grass. Brown for here. But yeah, I'm really gonna try to keep it like dark as much as I can. Alright, and then we'll have blue. And the little frog, I will just kind of pick the colors that I'm already using, and I'll just include in the frog. So there's that. So I think that's a really good start to at least kind of know where I want to go with her. So I think that works. So that's a plus. So we're now going to do the quick sketch together. And then I'll come back when I have a little bit more progress done. All right, so here's this. So here's the paper we're using. It's a 3x4, I think. I normally work with a 6x8, but I just cut these in half. So this is a 3x4. So where is mine? Okay, and I like to use the color erase pencils just as a good base. So I'm just gonna start with adding in the border. I've always added in these borders. I don't know why, I just like it because I like to make them black. To me, it just kind of gives it like a nice effect. So let's start with this. So we got her head. Her little body is curled with her feet. I hate when the sketch looks better than what I'm actually trying to do. It makes me so mad. Because I'm like, I wasn't trying and it looks better than when I'm actually trying. And I just can't. So we're gonna have the water. I'm gonna try and make the rest of this kind of on the smaller side. Just because she is the main focus and she's closer to us, so. I think that makes sense. And then a bit of the moon back here. We'll have our little frog there. Okay. And now her little face, which is absolutely adorable. And I gave her the nub on the nose. I don't know what bat species has that, but I just want to include that because I feel like it helped make her look more of a bat with the nub. So there's her nub. But this is the start. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. If not, I will come back and you'll get a better idea of when I actually put actual pencil down. So let me just get started on some of this and then I'll come back. So this is where I've gotten with little Myra. She is absolutely adorable. I'm loving how she's turning out. So I just wanted to have that cave somewhat in the background. We're going to have like two trees on either side. This one you won't really see, but it's mostly going to be this one. We have the moon covered by a little bit of clouding. And then down here we have our little pond that we still have to make, so we're gonna do that together. And I have a little frog buddy, just why not? I thought it'd be kind of cute to have him down there. And then we're also gonna take care of her legs and her tail. And then it'll be time to color. Myra here is a little bat character. So she actually kind of goes along with Kana, which I did a few videos ago. She's a little raptor. In a way, she falls in that same kind of category. Like, I call them my minis, is what they are. Because they all actually show up in my comics in some form. Like, my Mutations comic is where all of them show up together. So, but they all show up in some form or another, mostly people in the other comics for the most part. Some of them will be animals still. But that's kind of what she is. But mainly she's a bat. So I just wanted to draw her because I thought she's cute. She's a little different. I don't really draw bats. So I think this is probably the first time I'm ever actually like really, really drawing her. So I just want to have some fun with it and just try something a little bit different than my normal like dinosaurs and dragon stuff. So I was like, let's do an actual animal this time. So this is where we are with little Myra, as you can see. So down here, it's pretty bright, but I'll darken it up when I do the pencil. It's just because I was doing the marker just to kind of lay something down. She's a little bit better with kind of having, I guess, 2 different light sources, but I'm making it work. So now we're gonna keep on going. So I'm not doing like a light strip. I actually might. We'll see. Either I will do a paint pen or I might just use pencil just to kind of add in that white I need, like just a little bit around her, because I have prismas here. So I'll probably just end up doing that and just go around it before I even putting more pencil down, just because it'll really help make that white pop. But we are gonna come over here and we're just let's do a little bit of a part together, and then I will finish her up with the marker at least. And then that way, it will be pencil time. But for this, I'm just laying down the pencil again, or the marker. This is like really simple. I'm not trying to do any super like light strips at the moment. I'm just trying to put something down. So we have the moon here. So that's what I'm kind of going to focus on with where the shading is coming from. And just kind of have it from that top. Okay, so we got this. All right. And that's all I'm pretty much doing, is literally just kind of building it up. So it's almost like layering it. So you just do the main color, the secondary, and then the third, and then that's how we get that. So that way I can do the rest. So let's finish her up. Going with her colors here, obviously they're not normal bat colors. It's very fantasy based because bats are not these colors, as far as I know at least. I think they're normally like dark brown or blacker and stuff. But because Myra is one of mine, I have tend to gotten into making the characters as kind of almost weird looking as possible, I suppose, in a way. So I just love using random colors because I have these elements which are in all of my comics. So these are her element colors. So be fire, emotions, and poison is what they are, like in that order for her. Like if you go down the wing, that's what it is. These colors do match her personality very, very well. She is definitely like a hothead. So she's more of like a summer type character, like personality wise, if you will, where she, just hot, it's spiking, it's kind of crazy. Sometimes like down here in Florida, like with our weather changing, going from like 80 to 60 depending on the time of year, or just staying straight up 80 and then like constantly raining. So that's why she's kind of got that personality too, where it just goes back and forth. That's just her. But obviously she loves the night. So with this one, I try to do somewhat darker colors, but I can't. I can't. I'm like, I like showing off her colors. That's kind of why I was doing the shading this way, was obviously you have the water from below, but then you also have the moon. So it's kind of like a two-way shading. So in some areas, it kind of shows two-way. Others, it's just the one-way. It depends. But it's also what I was trying to play around with all these colors too, and just adding in a whole bunch of different things. Just trying a little something new. that, because I just tend to do like one type of thing, but I just want to try something a little bit different. So by having the two different light sources along with it being somewhat darker, it kind of helps for me to start learning different coloring techniques so that way I can get better over time. All right, here's little Myra all done. For marker wise anyway, she's not completely done, ha ha ha. We're about 50%, but that's better than 0. That's how she's looking. So overall, pretty good. Once I can do the marker, I can add in a little bit more like layering and whatnot, which will really help like with the shading and whatnot. But we're at a good start so far. So now I'm going to continue on, and then yeah, again, this will get darker a little bit. There's still going to be like some brightness, but it's not going to be a ton. And then even up here, I actually might put some stars, just a few, and then it'll be a little bit darker, but that's coming soon, so stay tuned. Here's where we are with little Myra. So you can see I'm almost done. So we're gonna do this cave back here. I gotta do this wing and her head, and then that's it. But I think it looks a little better than it did before. Like, it's definitely coming together color-wise. I do like how this came together down here with the way I did it, where it's just a little bit of subtle lighting, so I figured it would kind of carry up just a little bit. So that's why it's just underneath. But yeah, I think this area just turned out the best overall. And also just back here with the moon and whatnot and just doing all this. So I think it's working out really well. It's probably not super dark, but I don't really go that dark personally. So I'm honestly, like, overall, I'm fine with this. I don't know, I just didn't want to do, like, uber dark with this, especially just because there is light down here and then back there. I don't know. That's just me. But we're gonna get her finished. Alright, on to round 2 of coloring, which is just pencil now. So this is kind of just filling in any white spots or just adding some different textures, some layering, that kind of thing. Nothing super crazy, just going back over the marker just to add a little bit more that I didn't before. I just kind of got into this phase, so I just stuck with it because I was like, why not? It works. But little Myra, yeah, she's definitely my hothead character. She'll kind of tell you how it is. That's just her. But she's also one of those characters that just loves to eat. Like, that's just how she is. Like, she loves food. She'll sit there and she'll kind of hoard it all. She's definitely, like, all around, like, to me, she's, like, just a fun character. Because she's, like, very snippy and, like, sassy and whatnot. And she can kind of change real quick. Like, personality-wise from how she is. I don't know. I just enjoy her as a character. And also just, like, in this form of how I have her. She's absolutely adorable. Let's be honest here. Just a little bat going on. I love it. I can't help it. I think she's cute. And she's so much fun. Obviously, she'd be kind of small like this, which she is, because when I would normally draw them, like, for Mutations, for example, which is where she's a bat character. Also, Arlathea, but that's a little different. But with Mutations, they're all the same size, so they're, like, 3x3 is what they are, to kind of keep them on the smaller side. So that's kind of almost what this is, but I guess with this, she'd be almost more closer to, like, a regular bat, I suppose. I don't know what the type of bat is, because obviously I gave her a little nub on her nose, which I had to, like, for me, bats need the nubs on the noses. I don't know if it's supposed to have, like, really, like, obvious, like, fluffy fur on the chest. I don't know. I didn't do that partly because she's a girl, so I just kind of just kept it that way. But I still think it works with her just being the little bat. Obviously, she's very almost dragon-like at the same time, but I draw dragons a lot. I love dragons, so she's going to have a very, like, draconic almost kind of feel to her. Plus the bat wings also just kind of help because dragon wings are based off of bat wings. So I'm like, it kind of makes sense. But I only gave her the 3 fingers versus like the 5 on my dragons is what I normally would do for the wings. So that's also another difference. But she would almost have, I guess, a draconic personality because she is like, she can be aggressive and like very hot-tempered at times. But it's also like she's very protective of her friends and like she loves her friends and stuff. Because she does have in my Arlathea story, she actually has a twin brother. But just with the Mutations, she's just like overall like protective of them because she cares about them. But also don't mess with her food because she'll mess with you. You know, she'll screw you up. Just don't touch her food. That's like the last thing you want to do with her. But she's definitely a joy to have. But I just wanted to do this because it was a little bit different than when I was doing. So I also just want to put her up in my store because I put Kana up. So I just want to include her now. Okay, so I think I'm going to try something here and trust the process a little bit. So I almost kind of want to just come down and go over it a little bit to kind of make it a little bit darker. I feel like it is like just a little too light. Again, I have those light sources, but still, because I like how dark that kind of is over here. So that's almost what I want to kind of match, but I'm actually more scared to do it to her, so we'll see. I mean, I suppose the next option is to put black down, but I almost don't want to do that. I mean, I don't have a problem with using black. I use black all the time. I just don't know if I want to for this. Again, just because I have that light source down here, so I don't know. I almost also don't want to kind of do it to her because I feel like she stands out, which is the point, and this stuff's kind of pushed backwards. So that's also why I'm kind of hesitant. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna be a good idea. But now if I'm not worried about the red, like if the red gets covered, the red gets covered. I'm like, it's red. I suppose it's more of the pink is what I'm more worried about. But I suppose that works. I don't want to do the inside of the ear because you have the moon coming through, so I feel like, because you know this part of the ear is relatively like see-through, especially with a whole bunch of light, so I'm like, I kind of want to leave that where it's a little bit lighter. That's why I'm like, the rest of this though, I mean, I think that's working. Like, she's darkening up a bit, which is nice. It's same thing with the wings. I don't want to darken the wings up too much because, again, the wings are kind of see-through. I mean, I suppose that works with that. That's not too bad. It's still on the darker side, but I feel like it works for the amount of lighting. I'm just going to let it be. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to finish her up with line art. Okay, on to the last part, which is just filling in the black and doing the outlines again, is all that this is. But I just wanted to let y'all know, if this is your first time seeing my videos, I do fantasy, dragons, dinosaurs. I love all that stuff. I also, again, I have 6 comics at the moment. I now have 5 more I'm currently trying to do, so that's going to be 11 total. Keep an eye out for those. But again, if you want to see Myra in more action, you can go check out my Erlathia or Mutations comic, and she'll be there for you guys to kind of see how she is. But this is where we started at, and just nice little traditional. And then this is where we have ended. But she will be up in my store probably early September if you guys are interested in taking her home with you. She'll be in a couple different products with a few different designs. Very cute all the way around. Again, I love it. I can't. I'm like, oh, she's so adorable. Just the cutest little thing ever. I can't. I'm like, oh, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.